What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video today. So, there's never been a perfect March Madness bracket ever. But I have this tournament down to a science this year. I'm about to make the perfect March Madness bracket for you. So roll the intro and let's get into the perfect March Madness bracket. Okay, so let's get into this perfect March Madness bracket. So Auburn and Alabama State, if you saw the 16 seed matchup with St. Francis and Alabama State, you knew that Alabama State had that crazy full court pass, but Auburn's going to get the win here. I'm going to be very quick on these first round matchups just because I don't want to make this an hour and a half video. But I'm going to describe something like this one. Louisville, the 10 seed in the nation, and they get an 8 seed. I think they got robbed. I think it's the worst seeding in this, maybe other than North Carolina, but yeah, Louisville gets out of this, I think, easily, honestly. Creighton's a good all-around team, but I don't think they can hang with Louisville. Okay, Michigan over UC San Diego, even though I see a lot of people going San Diego's way with that one. I'm going to go Yale over Texas A&M. An Ivy League team always finds a way to win, so that's their team this year. Ole Miss over North Carolina. North Carolina was great in the play-in game, but Ole Miss, I'm going to be very high on this SEC. And Iowa State from the Big 12 is going to beat Lipscomb, and I think Marquette gets the pretty easy win in New Mexico. From my friends, I see a lot of them picking New Mexico, kind of 50-50, but I'm going Marquette easy here. Michigan State over Bryant. I'm going to go Florida over Norfolk. I'm going to go Oklahoma over UConn. I know UConn has had some really good wins, but so has Oklahoma, and they played the SEC, so I'm taking the SEC over the Big East every time. Oklahoma gets that win. Memphis and Colorado State. Memphis, they're hurt. And I really like this Colorado State. They're on a huge winning streak. They're really hitting well. I'm going Colorado State there. Maryland over Grand Canyon, in my opinion. I really like Derek Queen and Reese. I think they'll be really good in this tournament. Missouri and Drake. I'm actually going to go Drake. Fantastic defense this year. And if you're going to go 30-3 in any conference, you deserve to not be slept on. I think they get the win over Missouri, who's a little iffy right now. So I'm going Drake. Texas Tech will get the win over UNC Wilmington. I'm going to go Arkansas over Kansas. Kansas just they're not as good as they usually are this year. Arkansas they play in the SEC. I mean, that's going to be the reason for a lot of these SEC teams. I'm going to have very highly because they play top ranked teams pretty much every week. So I'm going Arkansas there, and then St. John's to finish this side of the bracket off. And let's go to the top and then to the right. And I'm going to go Duke over whoever wins tonight. I haven't saw the games yet, obviously, so it's going to be the same with Xavier and Texas. But I'm going to think American wins this. It doesn't really matter because Duke's going to kill both of them either way. We're doing Mississippi State from the SEC. I think Oregon gets this comfortably. Even though if Liberty gets hot, they can win. And I think they can go even further than the first round. But I'm going to go Oregon with a safer pick. Arizona is going to be there. Arizona's looking really good right now. I'm going to go BYU. This is probably my safest part of the March Madness. But yeah, I mean, you gotta go safe sometimes. And I think these are the correct matchups. I mean, I got Vanderbilt beating St. Mary's. I got Wisconsin beating Montana pretty easily. And then Alabama beating Robert Morris. No surprises on that side of the bracket. Except for maybe Vanderbilt and St. Mary's. That's the only upset I have on this side. So let's get down to this side. This side I have a bunch of upsets. I got Houston pretty easily. I got Gonzaga. I know Georgia's in the SEC, and I've been very highly on them. But Gonzaga, they're on a roll right now. They just beat St. Mary's to win. What's it called? They won their conference against St. Mary's, even though they've lost to them twice this year. But Gonzaga's on a really good roll, and they always find a way to do good in March Madness. But I'm going to go McNeese versus Clemson. I'm going McNeese over Clemson. I know Clemson looks very good this year, but McNeese, they failed us last year. I don't think they're going to fail us again, at least for this round. Purdue versus High Point. I live in Indiana. This is pretty much a huge talking point. I'm going to go Purdue anyway. Hates for me to say that, but I'm going to go Purdue over High Point. Xavier and Texas versus Illinois. I went to the Illinois versus Iowa game when it was here for the Big Ten tournament. They looked really good in that game, but then they looked really bad in the next game versus Maryland. So they're not on good terms. If it was switched, but I'm going to go Xavier. I'm going to go Xavier beating Texas and then beating Illinois. But this is my upset of the tournament. I'm going to go Troy over Kentucky. When Kentucky is a 3 seed, everybody knows they're not the greatest team, especially when this is closer, this match is going to be closer to Troy. I had, at the beginning of this, I had Arkansas State and Troy as an upsets to win. I had watched the championship game. I had Arkansas State. Arkansas State hung right with, I think, 8 points away from beating Alabama. And they beat Memphis. And Troy beat them by 12. Troy, they're on fire right now. I'm going Troy. UCLA versus Utah State. I don't like Utah State right now. UCLA. And then Tennessee over Wofford. Okay, let's go to the other side now, where we got the second round. Auburn, Louisville, and I probably have this matchup switched either way, but I think Auburn will get the win. I think I put Louisville over Auburn in a couple just to show them some respect for being an 8 seed. I think if they were maybe a 4 or 5, I would put them higher, but Auburn, they're not going to beat them, at least for this one. Okay, I'm going to go Michigan, not Yale there. One of the Big Ten. I don't think Yale has enough to beat this Michigan team that's well all around. Ole Miss and Iowa State. I'm going to go Iowa State over Ole Miss. Ole Miss, they're either on fire or they're not. Iowa State, much more accountable to do good or at least okay. So I got Iowa State here from the Big 12. And then Michigan State over Marquette. I thought about this one more. But Marquette, they usually get to the second round or Sweet 16. But I really like Michigan State this year. So I'm going to go Michigan State. Florida and Oklahoma. Florida. Not going to think about that one much. Maryland versus Colorado State. I had to think about this a lot, but I really like Maryland right now. Really good, kind of big man mixed with very good guards. Yeah, Maryland looking really good right now, and I think they get the win over a less qualified Colorado State team. I think Maryland gets the win. I get Drake and Texas Tech. I'm going to go Texas Tech. Even with Drake's amazing defense, their offense is kind of middle of the pack. Texas Tech is well all around, so I'm going to go them. And then St. John's. And their defense is amazing. Playing in the Big East, not the SEC, but I'm still going to go St. John's. Their offense and defense have been fantastic, and they're on a roll right now. St. John's was very high. Again, Duke and Mississippi State, I'm going to go Duke. Now, Arizona and Oregon, I'm going to go Arizona because I'm kind of mad at Oregon as well. Kick this out of the Big Ten tournament. Wisconsin and BYU, this is a really good matchup. BYU, if they get hot, they can beat anybody, but I'm going to go Wisconsin. I think they have a bunch of guys that they can go to. Tonje is pretty much the main guy, but if he's not scoring, they have other guys. Klesmit, Corral, Blackwell. Blackwell's been playing amazing. I'm going to go Wisconsin over BYU. And then Alabama and Vanderbilt. I'm going to go Alabama, not Vanderbilt. Okay. Houston and Gonzaga. I'm going to go Houston. McNeese and Purdue. I'm going to go McNeese. They match up very well. They're 30-3. They look really good against ranked teams earlier in the year, too. Not just looking very good at teams in their conference. I'm going to go McNeese, and Purdue always lose. St. Peter's, FDU. I think McNeese fits in that category. I'm going to go McNeese with a 12-4 upset and a pretty decent Cinderella story right now. Okay, next we're going to go Xavier or Texas versus Troy. I'm going to go Xavier. They're going to be on a roll 2 games in a row when it leads to this game, so I'm going to go Xavier. Tennessee is going to beat UCLA. Let's go to the other side. We're perfect right now. I'm calling it. Perfect March Madness bracket. I could never be wrong. My predictions are always perfect. Okay, Michigan's going to be Auburn. Okay. I understand Auburn is the number 1 seed all around. But Michigan is so well. They're just well all around. They don't have a weakness to them. Auburn, they've lost 3 of their last 4. Momentum is huge in the March Madness. Michigan has it. Auburn doesn't. I'm going Michigan with a 5-1 upset. Iowa State and Michigan State. I like Michigan State, but thinking about it, Iowa State, I think they beat better teams. Not really earlier in the year in their conference games. Michigan State, they had a little bit of a they had a run and then a dry spell and then a run and then a dry spell. I think Iowa State gets this win. Not comfortably, but I think Iowa State gets the win. Florida, Maryland. Talked really highly on Maryland, but man, Florida. If you're going to go on a run and the SEC, that is such a team to be messed with. I got Florida very highly. And then in Texas Tech versus St. John's, very good offense versus very good defense. Defense wins championships. I'm going to go St. John's here. Okay, Duke and Arizona. I'm very high on Arizona. I don't think this is going to be easy for Duke. It's Duke in March Madness. Cooper Flagg's going to be back. And he's probably going to be less rusty than what he's going to be in the 16-8 matchup. So I'm going to go Duke pretty handily here. Alabama, Wisconsin. Alabama is 9-2 away, but I love this Wisconsin team right now, and I gotta show the Big Ten some love. If there's a team that's gonna go far, it's gonna be Michigan or Wisconsin. I'm gonna put both of them going through here. I know Alabama. I know Alabama's looking really good, and they did good in March Madness last year, but I really like this Wisconsin team, and it seems to be like the team that's all well around at every position, always this good. That's Wisconsin. I'm going Wisconsin there. Okay, Houston and McNeese. I'm gonna go Houston. McNeese had a good run, but Houston just looks amazing right now. Fantastic defense. Probably, I've had Drake and St. John's as the best defense, but Houston is the best all around. I mean, they're probably like top 5 in defense, but they're also top like 20 in offense. They look fantastic. 3-point shooting's there, rebounding's there. They just look amazing right now, and they're on a run. I mean, they killed BYU, killed them, 74-54. I was at the game. I'm not at the game. I was watching that game, and I was like, if BYU wins this game, they are for real. Maybe even championship worthy. Houston completely shut them out. 54 points against one of the best scoring teams. Houston looks fantastic right now. I'm going to go Tennessee over Xavier. Okay, let's go to the Elite Eight. Michigan versus Iowa State. Michigan is going to have an unbelievable run if they get this far, which they will. Perfect bracket. I'm going to go Michigan over Iowa State. I mean, playing a tougher conference in my opinion. And yeah, I think they're more, Michigan's more accountable right now, and it's like that, they're just great all around. I'm gonna go Michigan there. Florida and St. John's. I'm gonna go. Okay, this one is probably a very tough matchup. I mean, it is not probably, but St. John's is the best defense. They're on fire right now. I know Florida is also on fire. This is probably one of the toughest matchups, but I have a feeling in this St. John's team, I'm going to go St. John's to make that Final Four with Michigan. Now we go to the other side, Duke versus Wisconsin. Everybody's saying this is a one-seeded, just Final Four. I watched four brackets today. 3 at least had all the 1 seeds. That just doesn't happen. It's March. I'm going Wisconsin with the 3-1 upset. I've talked about this Wisconsin team too much. They're amazing. John Tonje, if he gets hot, lights out. If Klesmit gets hot, lights out. If Blackwell gets hot, lights out. Wisconsin is amazing. I'm going Wisconsin over Duke Blue Devils. Houston and Tennessee. This is a very tough matchup as well. Not as much as the other ones, but I'm going to go Houston over Tennessee. We got our Final Four set up. Michigan versus St. John's and Wisconsin versus Houston. I think this is where Michigan's reign ends. I'm going to go St. John's for all the reasons I've said. Defensively, they're great. Offensively, they're great. And Big Ten's tougher than the Big East, but man, they have defended the Big East from Marquette, UConn. They've looked really good. So I'm going to go St. John's to the national championship game. Okay. I've talked about this is the best team right now, in my opinion. It's got to be Houston. This is where Wisconsin ends. The Big Ten is cut short. And Big East versus Big 12 now. And I'm going to go with two amazing defenses. But one offense is better than the other. One plays in a tougher conference. I'm going to go Houston is the winner of the 2025 national championship. It's going to be Houston. You should pick Houston. Okay. I think it's going to be semi-high scoring, but I think Houston runs away with it. I'm going to go 79-72. Finish bracket. And thanks for watching. Wiffle ball, it will be coming around. It's an April sport, so watch out for that. And thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.